David Sutter from Wyopreps.com, and it's time for this week's Athlete of the Week feature. We've got shared girls and boys honors this week, and we start on the ladies' side with Kinley Cooley of Pal, a 3A state champion in cross country this year. And when I say that, how does that sound to you, Kinley?
Never in my entire cross country career did I imagine that being said about me. It's like just a dream come true, and it's super exciting. And I think it's just a really awesome accomplishment for me in my senior season.
Well, congratulations to you. Take me back to Saturday a little bit. What was your strategy, and how do you think you kind of paid it off on that Little America Golf Course cross country course?
A huge part of my strategy was staying a little bit more relaxed in the beginning. Um, at previous races this season, I went out a little bit too fast, so I definitely wanted to relax a bit more and have more even splits. And on that hill, just focusing on using that uphill to my advantage. Like I think I personally can run quite strong on the hills, and so I wanted to power up those and just let the momentum on the downhill carry me instead of trying to work more on the downhill. And I focus more on working hard on the uphill. So
You've had a successful season overall, and I want to touch on that in just a moment, but take me through your training. Did you really train for that hill that you would hit at mile one and again at mile two because of the loop in the course? Did that impact what you and your coach kind of talked about in terms of your plan a little bit?
this season we definitely did a bit more hill training, and then especially over the summer, I did a lot of hill training just because I like to do some trail running. So I got a lot of that in. We knew kind of from the beginning that the course was going to be at a different golf course and it was going to be at Little America. So we knew that hill was there, and we kind of just focused on that's not going to be our priority of the year is focusing on that hill. We're going to still run our other meets, try our best, and just when the hill happens, it happens, and we're going to be ready.
Talk about where you're at in the race. You start to pull away a little bit. What's going through your mind in that juncture when you see a little bit of a gap and you're starting to pull away because you ended up winning by I think almost 30 seconds. So what's kind of going through your mind in that part of the race, I guess?
I know personally, when I start to pull away and race, that it's really easy to get in your head and think oh, I've got this easy, I can win this, even if I give up. But I think this race especially, I wanted to really think about imagining the lead car as another girl and just trying to catch up and keep up with them and stay at a quick pace instead of just accepting that I was in first place and letting off a little bit.
Where do you think you improved the most from last year's state championship to this year that allowed you to move up to the top of the podium?
Um, this year, I think I had a little bit better mindset, and mindset is a huge part of running. It's a huge part of every sport, but I think running especially, you have to be mentally tough, and you have to train your mind to be so tough. And so I think a massive part of my success this season is just having some toughness, and being able to, you know, when things get tough, just tell yourself you can do more than you think you can, and just keep working hard.
Well, it paid off in a big way. As I mentioned, you had a great senior season.
Yep.
As the win started to kind of pile up, what was going through your mind?
At the beginning of the season when I won that first meet, I just I was shocked because I don't think I can't remember winning that many other meets, and it's just super exciting just to win and have a PR. And then I just kept winning more and more meets, and then we had a couple in there where I, settled back into not first place and the top five, and I was like, okay, this makes more sense. And then we started running in Wyoming again, and I kept winning, and I was like, this is looking good. State could go super well for me, and it kind of helps you get excited and get in a good mindset for state because it's really easy to think positive when things are going well. So I think that helped a ton.
Now, obviously, you did not come down and compete at the state preview meet at the beginning of the season, and understandably so. It's a long drive from Powell down to Cheyenne. So did you have an idea of what the course presented, even though you hadn't run before? I mean, obviously you probably did some scouting, I think, ahead of the race, but I'm just saying, did you kind of have an idea of what to expect with this course, or was it still somewhat new to you on Saturday?
I was a little bit surprised when we were previewing the course. Kind of, you watch the video that they put on the walking the course, and I've got friends on the Cody team and friends on the other team and Whirling team that already ran at the course that told me like, oh, like it's not as bad as it looks. Like it'll be okay, and like so I talked to them a little bit about it, and then when we got to the course and we're walking everything, and we got to the hill for the first time, I was I was surprised, and I don't know if it was a good surprise because it was definitely bigger than what I thought it was going to be, but it ended up being all right. So
Yeah, I would say so. Congrats on being a champion. What's ahead for you in the next little bit? Are you going to continue to kind of go on to regional competitions, things like that?
I'm gonna go to the NXR meet in Idaho, and then I think I'm gonna just keep training for a little bit of running and more focus on doing some like just cross training in this off season before indoor and outdoor because it's a long time to run year round, and I think I just want to make sure my body's healthy all around instead of just running. So
I understand that. Well, congratulations on being a 3A state champ and congrats on being one of our athletes of the week. I appreciate the time.
thank you.
We continue talking about here at Wyopreps.com, our Athlete of the Week feature, a shared honor on both the girls and boys side this week. And one of our girls winners from DuBois, Ava Jory from the volleyball team, had a huge match last week in a big conference win at home as DuBois swept Burlington, who at the time was the 1A Northwest Quadrant co-leader. A junior co-captain had 18 kills, 14 digs, a block, and an assist, and 11 of her kills on just 15 attempts came in the third set of that match to complete the sweep. And Ava joins me right now. Congratulations on a great match. Take me back to last weekend and just kind of what was going through your mind as you prepared for that Burlington match, and all of a sudden you exploded in it, it seemed like.
Okay. Yeah, we were all pretty excited. We were keeping our mindset pretty good and wanted to go in it as our coach says to go in, play to win instead of play to not lose. So we just wanted to work around the block, see what was open on the other side of the court, and keep our energy up the whole time to keep those points.
What was working for you? Obviously, I mean, you have to deal with blocks and obviously different types of sets and passes. What do you think worked so well in that match for you individually?
Our defense was definitely very good, so that was able to set up a good offense. And our setter hustles a bunch so we can get a good set. And just seeing the other side of the court and what's open and working around the block definitely helped, and just swinging hard and being smart about it.
What do you think the key was for you personally, but maybe even more for the team to get that big sweep against a really good Burlington team?
Um, Mostly our mindset, keeping it positive, because if we go into it and we're like, oh, it's Burlington, we've already played them and lost, then obviously it's not going to go well. So we really wanted that win under us to get us good going into regionals. So that helped a lot, and just getting the confidence up for all of our players, especially the freshmen, helped a lot going into regionals and going to play Cokeville.
Yeah, I was going to say you're going to get some big tests this week. Take me
Yeah.
back to that third set, though. Was there something in the offense that just got you in a pretty good flow? 11 kills on 15 attempts.
I think just my setter just kept setting me, and it was just like the flow, and just the energy was super high and the crowd was super loud. So that just helped a lot. And our teammates were all playing super good that game. I think that was definitely our best game of the season. So that was super good.
How do you keep it going then? If that's your best game, how do you build off that and keep it going into regionals?
This week we're mostly working on like our mindset, because we're like, oh, it's Cokeville. But we know we can do it. And we're working on our offense to be an offensive team, not just defense, and put up those big hits. And mostly our mindset of we can do it.
Okay. Now, you were honored for your 500th kill prior to the match last weekend. What does that mean to you to reach 500 and try and shoot for the next level of 1,000?
I felt super honored. It was definitely a bunch of help, but it was super exciting for me. I was super excited. Hopefully 1,000, but we'll see. But definitely super exciting for me.
Talk about, being a co-captain as a junior. What does that mean to you? And what do you feel like you have to do as a captain to kind of inspire and lead your squad?
Mostly just keeping everybody up and out of their head, and keeping the energy high, and giving positive feedback to all my teammates, and making sure like they know how to fix something if something's wrong, or keeping up their energy. And yeah, keeping their minds in the right headspace, I guess.
It probably goes without saying this was a big boost going into regionals. What are going to be some of the keys this weekend as you head to Lander? And I know you mentioned a couple times you play Cokeville first, but it's not always about that first match. You do have to win twice. What are some things that you feel like this team can do to accomplish a goal of getting to state?
I think even at win or lose to Cokeville, we can definitely come back in the next game, and just keeping our game mostly offensive and swinging super hard so that we can get points off of that, not just defense. I think that'll help a ton. And like aggressive serves, we work on that a ton in practice. So I think that'll help a bunch for when we go into regionals.
All right. Well, Ava Jory, congrats on a great match and a big week for you and the Du Bois Rams. I appreciate you taking time, and congrats on being one of our athletes of the week.
Thank you.
David Settle from Wyopreps.com, and we're talking about our Athlete of the Week feature this week, a shared boys honor between a good football player and a great cross-country runner, and one of the best football players in the state, particularly in Class 2A. Davin Crosby of Lovell joins me, led the Bulldogs to a 47-20 win over the Cokeville Panthers last week in a ranked matchup. Threw for 180 yards, 3 touchdowns, did get picked off once, but he made up for that because he had 3 interceptions on defense, including a pick 6, as he totaled 29 defensive points. Also had 8 tackles, including 2 solo stops and a couple pass breakups, and it secured the number 2 seed for the Bulldogs, which means they get a home playoff game this week. Davin joins me, and Davin, congrats on a great week. Take me back to last Friday night. Describe how you think you played against Cokeville.
Yeah, it was a really good team win. We had a pretty good strategy drawn up, I think. Cokeville's a really good team, and we always know that it's going to be a fight. They never give up. I don't know, they're always giving 100% effort, so it's never going to be easy. But drew up some pretty good D, and we stopped their run a little bit, so they had to pass a little bit more, and we were in the right spots. And I just was lucky enough to be able to be in the right spots on a lot of the stuff. So it was really good time for all of us.
Take me through your 3 interceptions, including your pick 6. What did you see on those plays and how they developed?
We just had talked a little bit of strategy about where we needed to be, especially on rollouts and stuff. And on the pick 6, I was towards the quarterback rolling out, and he didn't see me, kind of snuck up in there, and I took that one all the way. It was kind of deja vu, a lot like what happened in Kemmer, and Brody Moeller was up there blocking for me so I could get in and stuff. So it's kind of like, I don't know, pick 6s are really cool. It's a really like big team play right there. So those are always fun. It was a really good play.
How do you feel you played in the quarterback position last week? 3 touchdowns. As I mentioned, you did have the pick last week. You also added some rushing yards. But what did you see developing in Cokeville's defense that allowed you to kind of pick them apart for 3 TDs?
Well, at the beginning, I wasn't playing very well at the beginning. They gave us a few looks that we weren't expecting. I didn't throw the ball very well, and then, like you said, I threw that pick. But after we were able to establish the running game a little bit, we got a few more one-on-one matchups outside. And, when we got receivers like Owen Walker and Matthew Newman, we like our chances with one-on-ones. So that opened it up, and they were able to go make some plays. So it's pretty good. Just complemented the running game stuff. So
how big was it for you guys to get the 2 seed in and at least secure a home playoff game this week?
It's really big, especially we dropped those 2 early games at home. We just like, winning home games, especially because, it's kind of something we have our fans come out. We want to give them a show. So giving them one more home game to watch is just a really big thing for our community and our school.
Take me back. It's been about a month and a half since you lost kind of that shootout to Mountain View. What do you think you and the team learned about yourselves that maybe has helped you kind of go on this run since that point?
I think the biggest thing is just not being afraid. Justice Platts is a great quarterback. He did a lot of good stuff. He really picked us apart. But I think we watched a lot of film on a lot of other players and stuff after that. We kind of realized that there were some people that were really good players, but just not fearing them and knowing that, if we do our job, we'll be all right. And I think that really helped us to, do that. So I think it was good.
Talk about getting ready for the playoffs. What are you kind of expecting coming up Friday night?
It's gonna be a little bit chilly, but we'll be ready. We'll be ready. Just we're 100% locked in right now. Especially like mental reps. Burns does a lot of good stuff. Really good team. So we're not taking anything for granted. We know there's upsets all the time. We really want to make sure that if this is our last home game, that we end it with a W. So.
And for you, talk a little bit about playing for your dad and what that's kind of meant to you these last 4 seasons, and trying to maybe make some magic happen here one last time.
It's been something that I don't know, kind of just something you dream about a little bit. I don't know. We kind of always grew up. I was always at practice with him when we lived in Star Valley. I was going to practices with him and just kind of grew up loving it with him and being able to come here and have him be the head coach and be able to help me kind of take me under his wing. It's been really awesome. We've had a lot of really good times and yeah, it'd be awesome to end on a high right here, but we'll see what happens and no matter what, I won't regret anything. It's been a good ride.
And then, real quick, speak to me about your mindset as a quarterback and what you're looking at and kind of thinking about play to play, game to game from that standpoint.
Yeah. It's a hard position. Like there's no way around it because you got to know everyone else's job, and it's really hard, especially when defenses are giving you different looks. Um, but I think just trusting the game plan. We watch a lot of film, so we usually are set up in pretty good positions. Our coaches give us a whole bunch of good strategies and stuff to go through. So just making sure you trust that. I've had some times where I'm trying to make extra stuff happen. I'm kind of forcing things. That's when I get in trouble. So just kind of trusting the game plan and letting stuff roll from there, and then trusting the receivers to make plays.
Is that a fine line for you where you have to get on your teammates, even though they're really good friends of yours, and but at the same time, hopefully they understand where you're coming from? Where's that kind of fine line at for you personally?
Yeah, I'm really good friends with everyone, especially the receivers and running backs. The line kind of takes care of themselves. I don't need to talk to them that much. But if we get wrong routes ran, I get back and they know what the deal is. I gotta like help them figure it out real quick. A lot of times in the heat of the moment, I'm not super patient or nice or whatever, but they know that it's all for a good cause. We make sure that we get everything set up so we can be better the next time. And I think that they understand that and just know that we're all trying to just do our best.
Well, congrats on a big win over Cokeville and a great performance for you. Best of luck, and thanks for taking a few minutes to chat about our Athlete of the Week feature, Davin.
Yeah, thank you so much.
David Zettelback here from Wyopreps.com. We continue talking about our Athlete of the Week feature, our shared girls and boys honor this week. And one of our boys winners, Jase Burton, the outstanding runner from Star Valley High School over on the western side of the state. And Jase, congratulations. You're a state champion. When you hear me say that, how does it feel? What comes to your mind?
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, I remember back in eighth grade when I was watching, Peter and watching all the others throughout, just throughout high school, watching them become state champions, and it's great to be at the top.
Talk a little bit about and take me back to last Saturday in Cheyenne. What was kind of your plan, and how do you think you executed that on that Little America course?
Going into it, we knew the hills were going to be hard, and it ended up being harder than we expected. But I mean, we knew that with the experience of the other teams and just how they'd been running all season, we knew that if we took off, then we'd have a gap and we'd be able to run the legs out of all of them. So, I mean, that's what we did, and I took off, and, Race held with me, and I was happy to see him. And then Hobby was there for a bit, but I mean, we got away from the pack and yep, executed it perfectly.
How cool was it for you guys to go 1, 2, 3?
It's probably going to be one of my favorite moments, memories of high school, is finishing and feeling great and then turning around and having two of my teammates there and then turning around the other way and seeing the other four of them or whatever coming around the square. So, I mean, it was awesome.
You were the only runner last weekend to go sub 16, finished in 15:46.6. How do you feel like you accomplished that?
Oh, a lot of hill work. Draney does well with, preparing us for the course. So we were at our home course, which is a hill, and we were just constantly running up it and, just doing intervals of running up the hill and getting ready for getting over the hill and then really pushing hard after you get over the top.
Well, for you guys to three-peat as a team, what does that mean to you, especially going out your senior season of cross country?
It means so much to me. I mean, as a freshman, I came in as 3A, and I had the opportunity to go to state, and it was awesome. And we lost to Mountain View, and I mean, and then we got to, get to move to 4A and really say, all right, this is going to be a challenge, but we can do this, and then, still have to prove ourselves each year. So it's great to, win every trophy that you can.
Talk a little bit about, obviously, I know you're not done running. So what is kind of ahead for you?
Yeah, NXR would be the next one. So that'd be November 16th in Boise.
Right.
And that might be the end. There might be more. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out when we get there and see how fast we can go.
So sometimes maybe take a little downtime just to let your body recover a little bit.
Yeah, definitely we'll enjoy Thanksgiving after NXR.
Well, Jase, congrats again on a terrific performance and hats off on a great season. And, congrats on being one of our athletes of the week again.
Thank you.